So you started doing YouTube whilst you're at uni?
I was just obsessed with the YouTube game. I was a big fan of Joe Weller at the time. Joe was the first time I saw someone who was just going on and take the piss out of people.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I can give that a go.
You've got over 5 million subs now. So what's been the secret to that growth?
Just loving it.
Why do you think EXO didn't work?
I think the content strategy was wrong.
I want to ask about the YouTube FPL League. Who's the worst loser in the WhatsApp group, would you say? Let's talk about some of the collabs that you've done.
Yeah.
Of course, MrBeast, your appearance in the Jet video. What happened there?
I went in that shoot day being like, oh, I've got an idea for a short. Harry walked away with a plane.
What's the most amount of money you've ever spent on one video?
Like 310 grand.
310 grand on one video for a 60-second payoff.
Mate, this is the stupidest thing I've ever done.
Hello, welcome along to another episode of Inside the Industry Unfiltered with myself, Adam Smith. This man here, I am going to call him an entrepreneur and a game changer in the face of YouTube.
Oh,
it is the one, the only, one of the most famous Geordies on the planet, WillNE.
Thank you very much.
Did you like
Good
that
to see you. That was terrible. Game changer. Game changer.
I think you're very, mate, I've got to say, actually, I'm going to give you some props. I've spoken to 3 people who know you very well about you when I was doing my prep, and glowing terms you would describe that.
Was one me mum, the other me dad.
No, they weren't.
You probably wouldn't get it from me now,
how you been, mate?
I've been good. Yourself?
I'm good, thanks. Yeah, I appreciate you coming on. Because I know it's not far for you to travel, but
Lovely, honestly.
your schedule. You walked here, didn't you?
Yeah, mate, 2 minutes, honestly.
Love
Just
that.
strolled over. Oh, yeah, send the location. Perfect. I got out of bed 20 minutes ago.
I like it. You mentioned your parents. So let's start where it all began. You growing up.
Yeah.
Young lad, Geordie. Your relationship with your family. Talk to us about the childhood we might not know about.
Yeah, lovely. No complaints. Lovely set of parents. Still going. Yeah, still quite a fan of them.
Yeah.
They're not bad at all. Lived there till I was 20. Moved down to a place called Loughborough.
I went to uni in Loughborough.
I'm sorry to hear. It's awful.
Yeah, but the uni's great. Campus uni's great.
What did you study?
Sports science.
Right.
Management.
See, that was that good for you,
It's
right?
the best sports science uni in the country.
So I went to do engineering with no sport in my back pocket.
Right.
You go there and you go, I could have gone to Edinburgh, Newcastle, York, Leeds, like these big cities. You go there, there's nothing there. It's just spoons. It's a terror.
There's not a lot in the town, but the campus uni is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. And if you like sport, it's amazing.
Yeah, it weren't for me, mate.
No, okay.
It weren't for me. So I did
I'm
a
not
year.
gonna change your mind, am I?
Nah, that's one thing I'm set on. So I did a year of engineering there, and then hated it. So I just honestly, I would do my engineering lecture, make YouTube videos, and be like, just please go, and then over summer, I started bullying 12-year-olds, and then that's where it started.
Which we don't condone.
We don't.
No.
We really don't. No, it was shocking actually. But you know, we take those, and then didn't go back after summer.
So you started doing YouTube whilst you're at uni. At that point, was that just a hobby?
So I started the year before. I failed my A levels. I resat my A levels, and then was just like, well, I've done all these lessons before, and they didn't go well last time, but I do remember I've got all this spare time, so I just started making little videos in my room.
And at that point, you're not looking at that as a career. You're just doing it for enjoyment purposes. I imagine you didn't think you'd be at the level you are now.
I don't know. I think I was. So this was 2015 now. So I wasn't. I've been around a while, but also like even when I started, you could make a job of it, and I was like, wow, that's incredible. So starting me like, if this could be it, let me just give it a shot at it. Yeah.
When did you first realise you could do it full time? Was there like a light bulb moment, a first video that banged, so to speak?
Yeah, my mum sat me down actually. So basically over this summer, I made these videos on these kids in Blackpool rapping, right? And they were massive. Yeah. So I just cottoned on. I was just hung on to their coattails, was chatting about them. And I think over like one summer went from like 20k, 15k to like 200k subs or whatever. So at that point you're like, okay. Yeah. And I was like, right, I'm going back to uni. And my mum was like, I just think you should just sack it. And she was the one, like, she was always like, yeah, like, you know, I ended up doing engineering. I didn't really want to do it, but it was like, I'd studied maths or physics or whatever. It's just kind of what you do, that'll get you a job, whatever. And then she was just like, look, I can see how much, like, I was working, you know, like long hours every single day on YouTube. She's like, I just don't see how you can do that and still do lectures. I think you should just take a year out, take a jump on it. And she was the one that was like, I was so ready to go back to uni, and she was like, I don't think it's the right thing, so credit to her.
Do you know what's amazing about that is I've had so many people sit in this chair, YouTubers specifically, that have said there's a moment when they realise they might be able to make a full-time job of it, but their parents, because our parents' background is fair to them, they didn't grow up on YouTube.
100%.
There's not that understanding there that it can be a full-time job. And the amount of people have sat there and gone, I knew that I could give this a go, but there was there was a reaction from my parents negatively because they didn't think they thought it was a risk.
Yeah.
But your story's the exact opposite.
Yeah, no, credit to her to have spotted that and be like, look, and also like to the point of where she was just, I think she could see how much I loved it. Yeah. And she was like, she could probably see that I wasn't happy with what I was doing at uni.
That's so important, by the way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Having a passion. I'm the same with presenting now. I love interviewing players, doing live shows, and doing something you love. It sounds so simple, but you put more into it, don't you?
100%. Yeah, 100%. I think that's, for me, what I look at of like the thing I'm happiest about is like Monday morning, Tuesday morning, I get up and I go and do what I want to do. I go and, do what I love doing. At that point, I'm just like, there's nothing else I can ask for.
How challenging were the early days? And so you didn't go back to uni. At this point, you're now full-time.
I had to go back to Loughborough.
Right.
So I'd already signed the next year's lease. So I had to live there for no reason, honestly.
I'm not having this. I'm not having it.
He's being so polite. It's the worst place on earth. Honestly, it's terrible. It's only topped by Middlesbrough. Anyway, so I had to go back to there and do a stint and then finally managed to get out and get to London afterwards. But got the bloody Midlands.
But when you are... Oh no, I'm hating this Loughborough. There's negativity towards the sensational place that is Loughborough Uni. I know what you're saying.
Your words, not mine.
I've completely lost what I was going to say there. But the point when you're doing it as a full-time job, does that then bring a lot of pressure? Because I suppose whilst you're studying, it's almost like, well, if this works, it does. If it doesn't, but is there pressure on yourself there? Or did you have the confidence to go, no, I'm going to smash this?
That was a relief, to be honest, because I was already doing it. Yeah. It was just like, now I have way less time pressure of like, here's 7 hours a day of lectures of lectures and coursework and whatever. So it's like, I had that was already being done. The work level that was needed was already being executed. It was just like, you've got all this more freedom to go and do it now. So
what was the biggest challenge then, would you say?
About taking YouTube or...
Full-time, starting full-time.
For I don't know. I'll be honest, it just got easier. The real challenge was the balancing and was the not having it at your full focus. And sometimes I'm terrible for it now, but with YouTube you have to react quick.
Yeah.
And if you're trying to react quick and you're like, I've got mechanics fluid dynamics at 9 a.m. I just want to talk about
there's a viral clip
the ice bucket challenge. Oh God, how am I going to do this? So it's like, the full time bit was honestly, it was purely just relief.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing. I think that's testament to how much you back yourself as on how much you know. We'll come on to talk about your knowledge of the space and the amount of people that have said how knowledgeable you are on YouTube. We'll come on to talk about that. Do you also feel like you've almost done it the hard way, the most authentic way? Because I look at, you've obviously collabed with everyone now, but you didn't collab with big names at the beginning, did you? It's almost like people subscribe to you for you, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Early days, I didn't really do anything with anyone until, do you know who George Mimulus is?
Yeah.
Mimulus. So he was the first person that we started talking about the same rapping children. Yeah. And then we became friends just because we're doing the same thing. And he was the first one that I really started working with and whatever. And then it's hard. I think it's collabing with people, especially if you want to sit down and we're going to record for an hour and, make some good content. I think you just do need that base level of friendship. So it's how are you going to come, collab with anyone if you don't know anyone and met anyone yet?
To be friends. Yeah.
It makes it a lot easier. Yeah. It's also just maybe going into that, you're like, how's this recording going to go? I've never sat down. I think it's nice to have just established that rapport beforehand. I think,
Yeah, I know what you mean by that as well, actually, because it's almost like, especially the type of content, if it's light-hearted, obviously taking the piss out of each other, and you're with someone that you only know from the camera. Yeah, you're like, I didn't know that. You don't talk about your hair or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you can tell as well when you're the audience watching, you're like, I know they're pals. Yes, or this is how they would chat to each other, and I think that's probably a lot of the draw.
I want to ask you about XO. Yeah. Because the names involved in XO, obviously True Geordie, yourself, Stephen Tries, Loz McKenna,
Adam Boltwood. James Alcott,
James Alcott, exactly, Adam Boltwood as well. I mean, a lot of geniuses there that know the space there, that also had a big profile. Why do you think XO didn't work?
So we didn't own all of XO.
Right.
And I don't think we were in the financial position ourselves to kind of be like, right, we can put what we need into and make what we need. And I also think there was... XO was great as a YouTube group, and I think everybody watched it as a YouTube group. But I think it was kind of being positioned as a business offering of maybe we could sell this, or I don't know. And we were kind of I think if we'd just gone and stuck to the YouTube thing and made stuff about ourselves and content with each other, that's what people wanted to see. We were other bits and we're a brand and is it football? Is it, pop culture. Is it like there was there was like made a so it was just like it was nothing to do with the people involved. I think it was the way that it was set up as offer. Yeah,
so it's almost like the content. The content strategy wasn't first. It was seen as a brand before it was ready to be a brand for you.
I think the content strategy was first. I think it was wrong.
Oh, right.
I think it was what it was. It was like, it was seen as as in terms of like the positioning of the brand and what the content the brand made. I think it should have just, like, people are watching that for the friendship between the four of you. Yeah. They're not really watching it for anything else.
Interesting, yeah. Did you feel pressure as like the main man of that group at all? Because I mean, obviously a lot of big profiles, but people, I think a lot of people would have looked at you as the sort of main profile. Is that fair to say?
No, it never felt like that. It felt like, so Brian and Loz were amazing with me when I moved down. And it was just kind of like arm around the shoulder, show us London, get us used to things. If I had a question, it would be like those two. It was like two older brothers. And it felt like that on camera. It never felt like I was the, it was always shot at Brian's place or Brian's studio. Or like I just rocked up and the cameras were ready. There was no onus on me to right, do this and this. I kind of just showed up and could chat shit for an hour. So no, I wouldn't say that at all. I feel like I was very well looked after by those guys. Yeah.
How was that coming down to London? Was that a challenge then?
It was new. It's fucking massive when you go down. You're like, God, it's huge. Yeah,
lot to do.
No, it was lovely though. So I moved down, got out of that Loughborough contract after about 6 months.
I'm gathering you're pleased about.
Lovely. And then it was like you move down and then you meet everyone and you're like, oh my God, it's because it's such a bubble down here. And I think if you don't live down here, it's hard to like integrate yourself. So again, no, that was lovely because it was suddenly like, oh, you can just form all these relationships and these friendships.
In terms of how you look back on EXO, I imagine obviously you're all doing really well now. Do you have any regrets about what that could have been though?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, especially as you say, man, the people involved were amazing. I regret maybe the position we were in. We took the wrong business stance. Like we didn't need a production company above us. We didn't need, to be given away a majority share. Well, we wouldn't now. We probably did then. I don't think we were in the position to be like to have the full ownership and to have driven that in the way that it could have been,
But it's interesting you said definitely straight away there, because considering you're so successful now, it's almost like, do you often think about what could have been with that then?
I just love the guys. It was just really funny. Lovely blokes sitting down and having a record with them was good stuff.
Do you think you'll ever start a group again?
No, I'm two for two.
That's a quick answer, Will. I didn't even think about that.
If you ask anyone else, they'll not give you a sit. It's real, mate. It's so tough. It's to get it right. Like the Sidemen boys, you look, I'm like, the longevity they've had and what they've managed of like, because it's like you can, even if everyone's like, right, we're pulling, we're working as hard as we can. That looks different to different people. Different people have different ideas of, right, it's 100% this way and it's 100% this way. And to not like let the working relationship come in between your friendship or like to manage those relationships in a professional way for that long, it's like managing that, incredible. It's really tough. I'm a terrible control freak as well. So I think I'm so bad at like being like, I'm sure it's this way, and then if someone else is like, no, it's not, I really need to be like better at being like, yeah, no, I see your point or whatever.
It's interesting you mentioned Sidemen there, because what they've done is, and I think you made a good point, the longevity of what they've done. Yeah. How big do you think it could have been, EXO?
Nowhere near that big. Nowhere near that big. I think it's hard to put a number on it, but it's just how long you do it for. It's impossible without figuring out, like, it's how you, because it's like what works for 2 years won't work 3 years after that. And it's like, how does EXO look if everybody has to rearrange their job? And impossible.
Do you still chat to all the boys from?
Yeah. It's mainly football based stuff. It's mainly, and two of them are bloody Liverpool fans.
You're buzzing about as a Newcastle
fan. And it's like I never get to text them gloating. There was one day in March that I held right over Stephen's head. Yeah. He came with, I was sat at the cup final.
The League Cup final.
Yeah, and he came.
Epic atmosphere. I was working that game.
I was sat Liverpool side. Were you working it? You said?
I was working it. Yeah.
Where were you?
I hosted Bobby Moore Lounge for every game at Wembley. Amazing. So I was with Liverpool, Newcastle legends, halfway line, amazing. It's a great gig I have there. But I have to say, because I do every game at Wembley, that's one of the best atmospheres I've ever experienced.
Yeah, really?
And it just felt like, for me, Newcastle not had the game won, but the pre-kickoff, how up for it the fans and the players were.
Yeah.
It almost like gave Newcastle that extra 5%.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
I think as soon as those first 5-10 minutes are out the way and you're on it, like, so it was pretty similar against, you remember the United Cup final 2 years ago, and it was just like immediately the game was flat and we weren't after it. And then as soon as the team gives you 5 or 10 minutes of that, it just doubles it as well. Yeah. But Stephen was there. I went there with him. He came out with my Newcastle mates afterwards. So Brilliant. It was great crack. He was in the middle of the...
let's chat about Stephen Tries. Big part of XO, big friend of yours. You've collabed with him a lot. How talented are we talking about when you come to Stephen Tries?
I just think he's the benchmark, right? Like when I work with someone and I'm like, oh, they're really good on camera, I go, oh, they're like Stephen in this way. They're almost like Stephen. Like I rate Specs similar level of you can just put a camera on Specs and sometimes you just can't take your eyes off him. And you just go, he's like Stephen in that way. But it's just the speed of, don't show him this, but the speed of which Stephen can get to places, or if you're slightly being a knobhead, cut you down to size, it's just, you've got to be on,
How much does he prep? Because a lot of, he's very quick-witted, isn't he?
Yeah, I don't...
Is that a natural thing that he has, or does that come from prep that he does?
It's just any conversation, he's on it, there, but there's, in terms of like if you watch him on like a roast thing or whatever, I'd love to see his work process. I'd love to know how his mind works of like, right, how do I get to that punchline, or where do I start to get to it? Because it's just, does it just come naturally, or is it like almost like a flowchart of like, all right, well,
do you think he could do stand-up?
Yes, of course. Definitely, honestly, I think he could do whatever he wants.
Yeah. I'd love to see that. Yeah. Because a lot of stand-up now, I'm not talking about these sort of A-listers, but a lot of them have almost like a script or like a sitcom prepared that they do, and it's a lot of influencers do that. I think he could definitely sell out, wouldn't he?
I mean, so I toured with him. So I had this show called This Week on the Internet, and we took it live like, I was going to say 4 years ago. It's probably about 7 now. It's probably about 6. And it was so nice because it's like I'm just sat next to this absolute like, if I flop, we're still totally fine because I've got this fella next to me. The pressure was completely off. Because he's just like, even if I have a nightmare, he'll still kill it. So,
fair play.
Yeah, but I don't think he's too keen on this stand-up thing. I don't know if he loves it or if he don't know if he enjoys it too much. I remember there's just a bit of like reluctance, I think, but I'm not too sure.
Speaking of the XO lads, we had James Alcott on here.
Love
he
him.
sang your praises, asked him who the GOAT of YouTube was. He said yourself straight away just because of all aspects of being a YouTuber. He also said, this is a lovely story, that you sent him a bottle of champagne when he hit 100k, and he said he was close to you, but he wasn't as close to know that you'd ever do something like that, and he just thought, what a lovely guy. So can you confirm that was true?
I did,
or are you going to say it was actually a bottle of Prosecco?
No, I did. It was just nice
lovely
because
touch, mate.
Just when we were in XO, I just remember him starting out and like first being on camera, or like first wanting to start a YouTube channel and stuff. And what I love about James is it's so, like, you watch the videos and they're so well researched and they're so thorough. And what I don't like about the current, like, I don't watch a lot of similar stuff that I make on YouTube. I watch a lot of football content or whatever. And what I really don't like about that scene is people say things they don't believe, outlandish, just to get a clip or to like rage bait or whatever.
You don't like that. You don't like
does my nut in.
You don't like the clickbait mentality of some influencers.
It's not so much clickbait. It's just like saying something. You're like, I know you don't mean that, but you're trying to rile up and get a reaction.
Like a strong opinion, a strong negative opinion on a player. For
it's
instance.
like, and it's that's rewarded. It's the right thing to do. What I love about James, Neve as well, I think is amazing. It's like there's so much work goes in to just like analysis and just like it's so. I love it when you can just click a video and you're like, oh, you've put loads into this and this is really well thought out. So it's just lovely to see him achieve that with his mentality and that kind of taking the harder route.
Yeah, do you know what? It's funny you say that because I had Neve on here recently, and she says she sits down and watches a 90-minute game of football every single day with a notepad.
Really?
Every single
Fair
day.
Play.
And it's interesting you say about James. I feel like he's done it the hard, slow way, because he's been doing videos for years that people don't understand, and he puts his heart and soul into it. And like, so do you think what he's done is harder, having that authentic tactical breakdown than, I'm not going to name names, but you're saying that the things that you really dislike are people that say things they don't mean to get a headline?
Yeah, it's just, I think as watching the content, it feels more genuine, and it's just like, taking that time and spending that care instead of just giving an emotional response of like, this is this, and he's this, he's that, and it's like, no, you know, it's going to work. This system's going to work because he's going to play in this way, but he could do this, and it's just like you're seeing it and you're showing it, and then I can go at the pub and chat and I know what I'm on about. I just don't think he works as a 6. I think he's more of an 8. Thank you, James, mate. Honestly,
it's lovely how you articulate that. It seems like you're really proud of because obviously where he was with XO, obviously the level that you were at, Brian was at, Stephen Tries were at, he was but by his own admission when he sat here, he said he was working with you guys and he didn't have a channel that was with many subs at the time. So it's almost like you feel proud that he's done it.
I just love it.
He's absolutely smashing it now.
And he's just a lovely bloke. I think you'll never meet someone with a bad word to say about James Alcott, and if you do, it's probably a bad indicator on them. So it's just one of them ones. I just sometimes you have people you root for, and it's just like seeing him achieve stuff. I just love it because he's one of the ones that just absolutely deserves it.
Yeah, where do you think he'll be in a few years?
I'd love to see him presenting live matches, or I think that's his. I think his goal. Saying he wants to work. I'd love to see him. Yeah.
Let's get back to you. This week on the internet, talk to me about that and how big that was in the success of your channel and how much you enjoyed that as well.
Yeah.
It looked like you enjoyed that.
Yeah, I miss those days. Sometimes, honestly, you'd plonk a camera down, you'd chat shit for an hour, and you'd be like, right, cut it down into 15 minutes, and then bang, you're off. And now it's bloody hell. MrBeast ruined it for us all. Yeah, man. That was good. So I was just obsessed with the YouTube game. I was obsessed with everything that was like happening online and all of the little storylines that were happening. Was a big fan of Joe Weller at the time. It's very much a rework of his Internet Melt series.
Was he a big influence? I haven't actually asked your influences on, like, who are your big YouTube influencers?
So it's him. There's a guy called Nathan Zed who kind of did the same thing, and he was kind of more American, very just creative with the way he set things up. And I think it was like 2014-ish, and people were making gaming videos, or like there was kind of the Alfie Day Zoella side that was kind of like more polished, like vlogs and a little bit more aesthetic. And I think Joe was the first time I saw someone, he was just going on and taking the piss out of people.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh, I can give that a go.
Yeah.
So it's like, I tried FIFA early days, and I was just shite at FIFA. And I think it's like,
doesn't help, does it?
Yeah, it just wasn't. It was like, oh, I love YouTube, and it didn't feel right. And then it was just like going and having a whinge for 10 minutes. I was like, oh, I could do that.
Yeah, fair play. What do you think's been? We're going to talk about. I want to really get into the nitty gritty of your channel, but what do you think's been the secret? Because you've got over 5 million subs now. So what's been the secret to that growth? Would you say?
Just loving it. It's just been like that. It's absolutely Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. All I would want to do if you gave us 6 months free, this is what I would want to do. I think it's just like, I mean, you say 5 mil, but it's 10 years, you know what I mean? It's 9 years or whatever. So it's just like every day be like, I'm just obsessed with this is what I want to do. Yeah. There's no like secret video or like, like studying an algorithm. It's just like, that's just all I really love. Yeah.
Did you ever think you'd get to this level when you started out? Those glory days at Loughborough Uni when you got your...
I just wanted to get out, man.
Did you ever think you'd be at this level?
Get me away from these sticky carpets and this Wetherspoons, man.
I don't know what Wetherspoons you mean.
Yeah. No, any other, this position. No, absolutely no. It was just kind of making me job.
Let's talk about it then, because I want to get into this. I want to dive into your channel, I've spoken to Loz McKenna before this, and he said, ask him how he's such a genius with titles and how he's one of the most hardworking people in the industry. I spoke to Seb, I spoke to Alex Emery, who do a lot of the work behind the scenes.
So that actually answers Lawrence's question. I work with those two to help write my titles. I think
so I'll tell you what they said in a minute. Let's do it chronologically. Yeah. Let's talk about the titles first of all. Like how big is that as part of your overall strategy?
Yes, you've got to put those first. I think title, thumbnail. It's a bit of a shame because it's like you don't sit down and you go, right, what's the best thing I can make? Or like, oh, this would make a great 30-minute piece, because it'll just die if you do that. You just can't think of it that way. You've got to put earning the click first. So you've got to go title and thumbnail. Are people going to want it? Like, is it going to make people curious? Is it going to draw people in? Yeah. And then you kind of reverse engineer, right? What does 15 minutes of that look like? What does 26 minutes of that look like? Yeah. So yeah, you've just got to put it first. That should be absolutely everyone's main rule. I think there's sometimes a few of us will be like, right, what should I title this video? What should I thumbnail? And you don't put that in a group chat or whatever, because all you're going to get back is, well, why have you left it till now?
Yeah,
almost Yeah, you're fighting with one hand behind your back.
That is the bread and butter, what every influencer says. But again, you are on a different level with your titles and thumbnails, it seems. So how much time goes into that?
I think that's very kind. I mean, we put a lot of emphasis on it for sure, of figuring it out, and then we mentioned Seb and Alex. I brought those guys in of just like helping and making sure we've got everything you can. I speak to a lot of guys. Like I speak to Max Fosh. Speak to Max loads. He's brilliant. He'll give you the most honest answer. Yeah. So I have a little group with him and a few others.
Just sorry to interrupt there, but having creative criticism as well. Would you rather he said, because obviously he has some unbelievably random videos, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Too well. I was grilling him on a lot of his titles, but is that important to have the constructive criticism as well?
Defo, because there's you're kind of going off gut instinct, right? And you're judging off your own personal opinion, but also like it's going out to potentially millions of people, and some certain things are going to draw others more than other people. I put it in a group, and sometimes you'll be like, right, I've got this video. Vaguely know the title. He has 20 different iterations of like, right, should I put we tested or I tried? And it's just like tiny little nuances that I don't know how much they make a difference, but like, I think getting it with people who will cross-analyze and tell you, maybe this isn't as,
It's great to have that soundboard as well from people, because I look at Max's content, it's different to yours, but there's similarities in like your comedy sense, if that makes sense. It's probably a very good soundboard for you to have if he doesn't think it's something to work.
There's definitely similar styles of structure. He's brilliant. If he I think a few years ago just studied everything and suddenly just like figured out, he has a really good grasp on it for sure.
You mentioned Seb and Alex. For those that don't know who they are, they used to work at Sky behind the scenes on a lot of the content I do at Sky. You work with them as well. When I was chatting to Seb, he was like, honestly, mate, singing your praises, described you as a YouTube genius, one of the best prepped influencers he's ever worked with. And he was just saying, ask him about the pre-production. He says that you put so much time and thought into it. Sometimes you even sketch out graphics that you imagine for your intro on a Google Doc to show your team. Now, I'm guessing that's not something everyone does. So what I want to know is, and they were singing your praises, what goes in to making a WillNE intro?
Okay, cool. So the intro is probably the bit where it can be formulaic. It's kind of proven there is like a best way of like approaching an intro. So as soon as they click, you kind of want to affirm the interest promise of, so say you've clicked on a video, every time you click on a video, you've got an understanding of what you think it's about to be about. You need to reaffirm that of like, this is what it's going to be about. You kind of basically, the meta is just repeat the title and say, right, today, or like whatever. Starting it with, hi guys, is not really, you just want to get straight into it. And then you kind of want to give them like, this is what we're doing. Here's why we're doing it. Here's a little bit of a storyline, but then also not explain too much, and just give as much relevant context about what's going on in as short a way as possible. Anything that's doesn't need it. You explain it a bit later.
But in terms of like, you think of the music, the graphics, the sort that like you said you're a control freak. So will you think of all aspects of like what that looks like, font size of graphics, how they appear, when they appear? You're controlling every aspect of that intro.
Now I'm a lot like, because there's just I have a real belief in the people I work with. I don't know if you've seen much of the videos with my editor Mike. He is so talented, just so, and he has a amazing feel for things as well. It's just I look at it like, right, if I'm the audience, what do I need to know? What do I want to know? What do I want to see? What would be like, okay, I get it. In that time period, that's what I'm like, right, if I'm an audience, what's frustrating me that I don't know? And then you just try and explain that as quick as possible without overloading with information.
Do you study like algorithms, trends? Like how much time do you spend consuming other YouTube videos per se?
So I've done a few courses, or like, so there's a guy, if you're looking to get into creating content or figuring out your attention, there's a great guy called Marriott. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. He used to be like head of retention at MrBeast, and he split off and was doing like a retention course or whatever. And I was following him. We did that. That helped us loads of just like...
So it's a course on YouTube retention?
Yeah. And that was nice because it's quite subjective. Like sometimes me and Mikey, it's very collaborative. So we'll sit down and be like, I think we should take this out or we should put this in, and we'll disagree. Doing a course that was like, look, here's different types and here's the data that supports doing this or doing this. That was dead easy for us to go, right, well, if we go back to that, it's proven to be better. I'm bad with... I can never be asked to study a graph. Like to go and watch a retention line go down or whatever, because it's just so, it's kind of, they're pretty useless in a lot of the cases, the YouTube analytics. So like if you say you were to swear by watch percentage, right, like average watch time, some people used to be like, right, I myself was like, right, all you need is 60% watch time. 60% watch time on a 3-minute video compared to 60% watch time on a 40-minute video. That's completely different. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and then there's also like click-through rate, but you'd assume if the video is good and people are wanting to watch it, that, you know, the click-through rate behind people. But if it is good, it gets shown to a way wider audience that might not care about that topic, so it actually goes down. Or sometimes you'd be like, right, we'll look for a flat line, and that's usually pretty good. But that normally means that you've made a video to a specific niche audience that hasn't been shown to loads of people. And if you show it to loads of people, it'll go down. So it's like looking into it too much it's hard to learn a lot from the back end, even though they're so detailed. It's more the principles and kind of just running it through at Max Fosh, or sitting 5 mates down. I haven't done this, Max does this. And be like, right, could you just honestly tell me the bit where you got bored? So he's like, you watch this, 15 minutes, right? Just timestamp every time I kind of lost your attention.
Does Max do that now, does he?
I don't know if he does it now, but he's definitely spoke about doing it before. He's just amazing at like, strip back all ego, just give it to me straight. What's the good bits and what's not? Like, there's no airs or graces. Very good.
That's important as well, isn't it? So data's massive for you then. It's if you're studying that, looking at that for pros and cons, it seems like data's had a massive impact in your creation of future videos, effectively.
It's certain types. The back end, no. But in terms of the only real bit of data you need is the view count. That's the only real one of like the sign of I've made a good video or if I haven't. Especially these days, like I think if you make a good video, it is kind of guaranteed to get views.
I know what you mean. So you mentioned a few times there comparisons between the early days and now, and the fact that you've got editors, you've got people strategizing. How big is Team WillNE now then?
Yes, so we are. There's 5 or 6 of us in the office full time.
What
and
those
then
roles?
So we have my senior producer Abby. We have my visual lead Yayan. I've got Mikey, my lead editor. We've got a couple of other editors, fantastic young lads who've just joined. And then we've got a couple in the Rods team that have just joined now.
Okay.
And then we've got a couple of overseas editors, which is quite nice because if you've got someone in Australia working, whilst we're asleep, they can pick it up and then you can pass it, and then you kind of have this.
Is that why you have overseas editors? So you've effectively got someone on call 24/7.
I think why you always finding a good editor is really tough. They are, so I mean, you just go wherever you are. That's great. If you can have an American one and an Australian one, you can just keep it going constantly. So that's, it's a big bonus.
And how long does it take to make one of, because your videos are, I mean, it's premium content that you make on YouTube. It is. I don't think anyone listening or watching this will disagree with that. How long does it take? What is the process? I'm thinking of some of your monster vids that you've done when you travel. Like what is the process that goes into a WillNE video now?
Yes. So I start with Seb pretty much, and we'll go, right, I'm kind of moving away from this now, but the last couple of years I was kind of making a video of like, if it's been made on someone else's or it's already been done, I can't do it. Okay. Which is not the best because you then aren't looking at like what's proven to have worked or what's, been an outlier for someone else. So we're kind of now starting to look at what's really performed well and how can we make that our own and put our spin on it. If like a proven kind of template, but also make it like us. So we'll start there and then I'll sit down with our producers and be like, right, this is the start, this is the end, this is the title. How do we keep it entertaining throughout? What's the kind of, is there a plot point here? Or like, it's going well, then maybe it's not going well. Or, how can you make it harder for me to keep the storyline progressing? We'll shoot. It's a few of, there's one we've been shooting at the minute since January, and I think it's been...
Since January?
So, mate, we've been Peru, we've been Mauritius, we've been Venezuela, we've been Poland, we went to Jamaica last week, and this is all one fucking video, and we still haven't finished it.
So this is one video? And you've travelled to, I think you named about 6 countries all around the world.
Then. Yeah, and it's not smart. Idea? It's not, it'll be a while.
But this is one video?
Yes, it's one. That we want to do, and so that's probably, I don't know, in the calendar it's probably like 20 days that have gone into it worth of shooting. They're normally not that big, sometimes they're like 10, and then we'll put away, we're getting more efficient now, but our edit timelines are probably about 8 to 10 weeks.
And when you say edit timelines, people that don't understand that is the time from ideology to it actually being mastered, mixed down, everything,
having the footage to it being out,
being edited.
And Mikey is an absolute saint. So we'll go through, we'll get it cut, we'll do a bit of a content check of like, right, pull that out, whatever. We've got the footage, it's all there. probably used to be about 16 weeks. We got them down to about 8 to 10 with the new guys have been brilliant. And then Mikey is such a saint. So for one of our videos, and this is definitely like, this is not a good thing. If you're looking into full-time YouTuber, don't do this. This is definitely not the right strategy, but it's just what I really enjoy doing, is me and Mikey will get to, he'll say, after we've got to a stage where we're ready for a draft, we'll go through like 16 drafts of like, right, he'll send me a YouTube Unlisted link and I'll send him back a Google Doc of just like 3 pages of like, right, 416, could you time this a little bit different so that it comes in different, or could we use a different song or whatever? And he's got such an amazing feel. He'd be like, no, you're being stupid there. No, you're not. And then we'll go back and back and back.
That's just changes.
Just little tweaks of like, right, this is, and it was like, it almost feels passive aggressive when he's like, but to the end, he's like, right, sending it like, this is train video draft 21. Like,
really?
Sorry, really sorry. But he's but I think it's, I don't know if he loves like, that's my absolute favorite stage is like, right, we've got this. And let's fine tune. And it's like, so my absolute weakest part of everything is consistency and timelines and schedules. I don't really.
Why is that your weakest part?
I just don't care. Like, I'm not.
Right. So you don't care when the video uploads, for instance?
Yeah, I just want to make. I just want to be like, video. Right, that's the thing. Yeah. And I think it's maybe just kind of my view as how I watch YouTube. I don't care if I've got a favorite YouTuber, I don't hear from them for 3 months, as long as when I see something drop and I know it's going to be sick, that's all I care, because there's so many other options. It's like, I don't need you every other week because there's millions of other people I can watch. So that's kind of just how I approach of my stuff. But that last week of like, should we put it? Oh, it's so fun because it's just like, it is so detrimental. It's so like, from a business perspective, it's pointless because you're going, there's 5 of us in this room, right? And then we're sat here spending an hour on a change that if 1 million people watch this video, only 3 of us in here care about. You go, fuck it, man. I love it, man.
Man, I love that attention to detail.
That's fun.
There's 2 things I want to pick up on that as someone who works in front of and behind the camera. And, I've got quite, I'd like to think, a good knowledge of edit process. But 2 things that blew my mind there is you said, it was 16 weeks, now down to 8 to 10. So that is the start of getting rushes, getting the footage, and then getting it out is 8 to 10 weeks average for a video. And then you go back and draft changes. It's not just you saying...
That's within the 8 weeks. That's within, but it's...
But that, I don't think that is... That attention to detail, that's got to be a big part of your success.
Yeah, you could also call it inefficiency. But I think it's hard because sometimes we'll have a storyline and sometimes... We don't shoot a video in one day. So it's like you've got like rushes of like... So there's a video recently where I ran to Brighton to meet my mate. It was running a meter every day, but every day it doubles. And you need a storyline. And because those first 10 days, all I'm doing is like running up to 120 meters. So you're like, how do we make that interesting? Because it's like that only got interesting towards the end. So you're throwing in little storylines or like try to figure it out throughout. So it's like... You've got all these transfers and all of these rushes from 20 different days. And it's not so much like there's not a set, when we have footage, we don't always know the set end point. So it's like there's a lot of conscious thought goes into figuring out what the video looks like along the way. That's really the bulk of the edit. And that's the stuff you can't really go, we'll align the team or we'll build a structure to, that's just a creative process that you need to let happen. So that's the bit, that's really the lengthy one.
I think that's testament to how good your videos, I mean, this video you've mentioned now where you visited 8 countries, I'm like all in about wanting to watch that just because, well, A, I don't know what it is because you won't tell me, but B, the intrigue factor of that is like, oh my gosh, I just cannot wait to watch that. Does it work both ways though? I suppose the positive aspect of that is that your videos are so premium, so highly polished that they're almost must watch now. And anytime you upload, I usually know WillNE video is going to bang. But is the downside to that you are chasing perfection every time, that you might go weeks or months without an upload because it's massively quality over quantity for your channel, isn't it?
So that's known within the industry as the Rotoshaw effect. It's like just make it better and better until you've made it untenable to keep up with. It's just something I've worked on the last couple of years of... I was 2 years ago, I was just spending fortunes on videos that I was never going to make back. It's something over the last couple of years of I'm now happy to put out a video that I'm like 8 out of 10 happy with, whereas it had to be 10 out of 10. It's something over the last couple of years, especially when you've got a team there and we're like, we just need to, move it. I'm still really bad for it, but if we'd had this chat 2.5 years ago, it's a different, a different mindset.
You mentioned sometimes not making the money back. What's the most amount of money you've ever spent on one video, would you say?
Like 310 grand.
£310,000 on one YouTube video.
There was a lot of it. We were buying things, and
what was the video?
So I bought. Do you remember JJ used to have a Lamborghini?
Yeah, yeah.
So basically, I went on this mission. I set myself up in like 2019, right? And I was like doing like, you know, there's like series where people like trade to a penny to something. I was doing something like that, and I wanted to trade with my audience something to really good, and I put it out and never finished the project. Right. And I kind of needed to find a way to spin that and land it. And I ended on like collecting the most important parts of YouTube history. So I set up this museum, and I had like PewDiePie's 100mm plaque and like Nico's shades, like old No Two Ways prototypes from Calix. I can't remember some of the other ones, but like really, or like boxing gloves from the first ever YouTube fight and stuff like that. And I set myself on this mission of buying JJ's actual Lamborghini that he used to have.
Right.
And
it's not cheap.
Yeah, I really should have faked this. Like, I really should have just whatever. And I was like, right. And I tracked down the original owner.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to sell it.
Right.
And mate, this is the stupidest thing I've ever done
in your life.
It was the biggest waste of money. It was so irresponsible. Yeah. And he was like, "No, I don't want to sell it. I love the car." Yeah. And I'm like, "Well, but I can't buy another one because that's the only one that's JJ
a great
had."
negotiation power for him, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, you have to buy it.
So I paid 50 grand more than that car was worth to get it off him.
Wow.
And it was
How much
already.
did you pay?
It was north of. It was around
200,000.
Yeah.
So hang on a minute, but it was only worth 150 grand. You paid 50 grand more just to secure it.
It was probably worth 160. I know. And I was like, look, can I just pay you 10, 20 to rent it off you forever? This is so dumb. Yeah. And then I was like, and it was just for the end shot to be like prove that I was like, I owned it. And then I needed to have the license plate on it to show like this is, because through the video I was like, this is the license plate. Yeah. We couldn't get it approved on time. I just sellotaped it on. I could have just rented a Lambo and sellotaped it on.
You didn't get the number plate.
So I sold it again, but I lost probably 40, 50 grand, but definitely 50, probably 60. So stupid on just being like, right, I've got to do that reel and I've got to do that. You don't. And it was just for like a 60-second payoff. And it was so funny. Honestly, one of the worst shoot days of my life is I basically was like, JJ, can I just have you for a video? He's like, yeah. Just booked in a time just for a FaceTime call. And I rented out this airfield, being like, I'm going to surprise him with what I've got, right? Yeah. Go watch that clip back. He did not give a fuck. He was like, why have you done that? Like, why have you bought that? I was like, look, it's the exact one. He was like, yeah. I was like, oh, no. And that's the payoff. It's the biggest mistake I've ever made. But that was the mentality I was in like 3 years of like, how can I get bigger and bigger and bigger? And that's not, that was, it was crazy, but like, spend this much money on it. And there was not huge reserves to be able to do that and keep doing that. So now, we've got the business is profitable now. Yeah. It wasn't 3 years ago.
Was it not?
No.
Your business wasn't profitable 3 years ago?
No, because think of the story I've just told. Does that sound like a man running a profitable business? No.
You would have been on, what, 4 million subs 3 years ago, something like that.
Probably still closer to 5, I think.
That's my point. Yeah. So, but it wasn't profitable because of the business strategy you had.
Because it was just wasting stupid money going, right, what's the biggest video we could make? But now we've got the second channel that we do really frequently, and I've set the business up in different ways of just making sure we're bringing a lot more revenue in, and we keep an eye on the spending. And my producer, Abby, is very good at keeping the budgets in. She still spends more than the budget, but, it's nowhere near what it was. Yeah.
Wow, 310 grand on one video for a 60-second payoff, and JJ couldn't be bothered. What did KSI say off camera after that? Because you must have had a chat with the cameras.
I was actually, I kind of took the piss, honestly. So
I'm not surprised.
That day, then that evening, there was a poker tournament in his house, and he was like, "Yeah, Lambo, really?" And yeah. And you're just like, oh, I've just done something really stupid. He's just like,
do you think you'll ever do a vid like that again?
I won't spend that recklessly again, no. But I will do those. I wouldn't rule out going to that length to make something as good as that. But it'll only be if plans are in place to we're going to make that money back, or we're only going to lose a certain amount. Yeah. This
video you're doing, traveling the world, though, must be in terms of flights, accommodation, cameras.
Yeah, so that
must be nearing that in terms of what you're spending.
That's probably about I haven't checked with Abby, but that's probably about 65 at the minute. So we've done good at like flights at terrible times.
Yeah. Not buying a Lambo.
Not buying, yeah, that was quite an easy business mistake to not make. So yeah, that's adding up. And to be honest, we don't have an ending for it at the minute. So we went to Jamaica, and this was last week. The whole team out there, and the schedule's nuts. It's like we fly up to Jamaica Monday night, we're back Thursday evening, and it's just like 10, 12 hours, whatever. And we basically like, right, this is the big finish. This is the big ending. And we got there. We just didn't get it at all.
Yeah.
So it's now like, do we want to do another big thing and spend more? And we're definitely in the red now on this video. We're not making money on this video unless it does 10 million views.
So you know that you won't make money on this, but you're all in with it, obviously, because
it's
of
too
what
late.
It's
too late. So it's now like, do we spend more and have and try and find an amazing ending, or do we just go? There's an ending you'll see quite frequently on YouTube of where they don't achieve what they want. And they go, maybe it's the friends along the way.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It'll probably be a friends along the way outro.
Or trying to meet someone, they don't meet them, but it's the story of trying to meet someone.
Maybe maybe it's not about the destination; it's the journey you should enjoy. Like that bollocks. So I think I think we might have a sketchy ending on that one.
You mentioned your second channel. How's the role of your second channel been in terms of your overall business strategy?
Yeah, it keeps the lights on for sure. Yeah, but it's also really fun. It's funny. So we've spent the last half hour talking about, putting all this effort in the main channel videos. Yeah. If you ask the audience which one they prefer, it's 100% the second channel.
Really?
If people just way enjoy it. So you can definitely over-engineer content, and I feel like I've definitely done that. And sometimes, personally as well, like when I watch a video, it's like sometimes you just click on, I want to watch two people have a laugh for 20 minutes.
I know what you mean by that.
100%. Sometimes people just watch YouTube for connection, or like, I think it's why groups are so successful or why so watched, because it's just like, as humans, maybe that's just what we want to see.
Yeah, everyone has someone that they can feel relatable to, or so they like the chemistry of and stuff.
Yeah. So honestly, if I was to sack off one of those channels tomorrow, people would be way happier for it to be the main channel, 100%. Ooh. Yeah, and that's fine. That's fine, because I love the second channel stuff too. Yeah. But it's like to just be like, oh, it's just the revenue of it. It's not. It's not. It's the main reason people watch us, I think.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. That. Let's get a sort of reaction of some of the videos you've done. Then, if you had to pick a best video that you've ever done, what would it be? So there's a few. My absolute favorite. So there was one. Yeah, this is bad saying it out loud. So there's certain places in the world in the summer the sun doesn't set. So basically title it like I survived the town where the sun doesn't set. And basically it was in Alaska. We trapped my editor Mikey in a completely pitch black house, for 100 hours, right? And we put me hundreds of kilometers north of him in the Arctic Circle. And I basically was in constant lightness, right? I couldn't have a tent. I couldn't sleep in a undercover or whatever. And he couldn't see light. So he was complete dark. I was complete light. And I had to complete challenges to go and get to him and just camp out in this Alaskan wilderness. And it was just like mosquitoes biting us or whatever. That's the one I'm most proud of, because it was just new. There was one where we built like a tiny house on a mountain. I love doing that. The storyline fucked me a little bit, but there must be a lot of considering you prep everything in terms of strategy, thumbnail, title. You have a strategist talking to you about what goes on along the way. There must be a lot of uncertainties in videos like that.
Yeah, so that's where you lean on the production team. So you go, right, let's get our principles right. It's like, I don't want to be in control of the narrative because then it's contrived. Yes, but if you can have people, chats who understand, right, this is what the narrative needs to be to keep people entertained, you can then totally bring yourself out of it, and then they can, help keep people and make a good story. Whereas, I there's no way I'm going into a shoot not knowing it's going to be, it could just be boring the whole way. I'm happy with it going wrong and it being terrible, but I'm just, if it's going to be plain sailing and shit, we're like, no.
I think I might know the answer to this, but worst video?
I ran that I've ever made.
You're not going to go back to the Lamborghini story here?
No, that's a great video. It's a great video. I love that video. That's a great video.
Yeah.
Worst video I've ever done.
Described it as the biggest regret of your life 3 minutes ago.
It was stupid. It was stupid. All right. The worst thing I've ever done, or the worst video we've ever made, was I ran a marathon in Heelys, and it was honestly so the one running from Brighton to London. That was like a 90-kilometer run. It was a 60-kilometer run the day before. That was like tough and physical or whatever. it was nothing in comparison to this marathon in Heelys, because it was just pure agony for 7 hours, and I wasn't fit. So basically, I put a pair of Heelys on, right, and I was racing Mikey at the time. He was doing a flat one, and I thought I was being a genius, and I picked out the most downhill marathon in the whole world. I'm like, right, you go to Vegas, you start at the top of a mountain, and you come down. What I didn't realise is all of that elevation change happens in the first 5K. So the first 5K is like this, right? And then it's so much weight on your ankles and your toes. And I basically had these white leather, brand new, lighty up Heelys on. And my feet were so bad, I bled through the leather. Like I bled through the sides of the leather. And my feet were bangled up, and it was just the most pain I've ever been in. So that is just honestly, that was absolute worst day of my life. But we got it done, and we've got the video.
It shows what you put into videos. Remind me of some of the places, because I think you're synonymous with travel as well. Remind me of some of the places in the world your videos have taken.
So we've gone to Peru, we've gone to Venezuela, Jamaica, Mauritius. There was one we went. This video flopped. We flew the whole team to New Zealand, and basically, if you fly across a timeline at a certain time, you can reset a day back to 0. So, basically, it's a confusing concept. Nobody really did, mate. Don't worry.
Sorry,
I had the world's longest birthday, so I had my birthday. Got to 11 o'clock, reset it back to 0, and I was like, oh, I've got a world record of the world's longest birthday. It's quite a convoluted concept to explain. It's not simple. So we were in New Zealand. We flew across the date line at the right time to Hawaii. Unbelievable, like great fun. But yes, we've done some air miles in the last couple of years.
Favourite place you've ever been in the world?
I loved it. This wasn't for a video. We went to Maui. It's like an island in Hawaii.
Yeah, Hawaii. I honeymooned in Kauai, which is the garden island next to Maui.
Oh, beautiful.
So, Kauai is the Kauai, I can't remember how to pronounce it.
Stunning.
Is the green one where they did like Jurassic Park and it's the garden island.
Yeah, it's slightly less touristy than Oahu.
Yeah.
And obviously where the bloody tourists go in there.
Yeah, it's unreal, isn't it?
But yeah, we had like a boys trip for
miles
Maui.
away, isn't it?
Unbelievable. But then it all burnt down like a couple of years ago. And so we have these lovely like class nights or good memories in this place, and they all just burnt. It's such a shame.
Wow.
But yeah, oh my God, what a place. There's a thing called the Road to Hana, and it's just like mountain road.
I know what you mean.
I rented a car for it. It was just one of the best days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Love that. Let's talk about some of the collabs that you've done then, because obviously we mentioned earlier about that you've sort of done it very authentically. You didn't collab in the early days, but on your channel, I mean, you've had pretty much all the Sidemen, Cal Freezy, Jack Mate, Josh Peters, Theo Baker, Stephen Tries. The list is endless who you've collabed with. What do you think's been the biggest collab that you've done, or the most important one for your channel?
Oh, my friend James. That's going to get clipped by I know that it is. The best one I do is it's I don't think it's about like the biggest numbers or whatever. It's sometimes you just sit down on camera, you're like, oh, sick, I know we're going to make a class video. I know every time I sit next to him, we're just going to make something good. I just know the dynamic will be good. But no, the best collabs are with James for sure.
Yeah.
Defo.
Well, I love that. I love that you've got that. And in terms of when you do collab with like the likes of Sidemen or KSI, what does that do? Give us insight into what that does for your channel when it's someone that big that you're collabing with.
It's funny now. I think it's long form these days has got so hard. People go on the Sidemen channel as a substitute for making YouTube videos because it's so hard to make your own one. And I think it's just kind of the only real way now to come up is through streaming or through short form. So it's seen as like a necessity of like to just be in long form videos and show you can do it. But it's just more eyes on you. I think it's just more. It's just if you're in a Sidemen video, it's a profile. I think. Yeah.
I watched your video last night actually that I remembered a while ago where you had. The hook was getting everyone to sing Smash Mouth All-Star without them knowing. Yeah. But I think what's so clever about that is the creative of the order that you're... Because it was just FaceTime calls, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then the payoff at the end with... In a video like that, they don't know what's coming?
No.
Yeah.
No, that was quite an easy one because you just kind of try and bait them into what's saying or whatever. That's kind of something... probably a mistake on my part that I've moved away from the last couple of years that I probably shouldn't have moved away from as much as we have. So over the last couple of years, we've made sure we don't make a video that relies on you knowing someone in it to click on it. So say, I kind of put the concept first of like, you click on that because you're interested in the concept of the video instead of because I know KSI's in the thumbnail or whatever. And because of that, I've kind of gone away from making videos about the YouTube scene or whatever. And it's kind of, I kind of miss, making videos with the boys as much. And I've kind of gone, because the thought process is like, you can't rely on videos that rely on KSI forever. It's not like, I want to do this till I'm 50, 60, as long as I can possibly do it. I want to do it. And it's like, I don't think that there's longevity in making videos that are based around you clicking because you know people, or you know, because we're not, you know, people are going to move away and stop doing it in 5 years or whatever. So I was like, right, how can I kind of get my house in order and and it was like a different principle, a different fundamental.
I love that. And of course, MrBeast.
Yeah.
I've got to say, Will, your appearance in the Jet video was quite short-lived, wasn't it? Were you not asked with that?
So,
like, what happened there?
So the story there was, right, this video, Vic shouts to me and be like, oh, do you want to be in Jimmy's video? We're going to be last to leave a jet, last to touch a jet keeps the jet.
Yeah.
The way it was propositioned to me until I rocked up on the shoot was, we're going to find your biggest fan, right? And if you're there at the end, the fan gets the jet, right?
Yeah.
As a viewer, you're like, brilliant, because, you know, a lot of these YouTubers, multimillionaires, why do they need a jet? That's why they were thinking it. So I'm thinking, right, I'm not that asked about winning a jet for someone else. So I rock up in a T-shirt going, hopefully I can just get like a little bit of short form out of this.
Yeah.
T-shirt, and it goes, I don't know how long it went on for, but it goes into the night, it gets cold. It's like September time, so I was not prepared at all. I wasn't prepared to be spending a lot of time there, so I took a payout and left as soon as I quickly could. But
Really
honestly,
honest.
I went in that shoot day being like, oh, I've got an idea for a short.
Yeah. And that was it.
Harry walked away with a plane.
Yeah.
So I just wanted a bit of short form from it. I just was like, right, I've got this idea where I make fake merch and then show him the fake merch. Class.
Which didn't do badly, by the way.
But yeah, I think it's
I think that short is on 41 million views.
So I got something.
So that's not bad. Well, where do we talk about, like, how do you analyse MrBeast from a strategy perspective and what he's done? Do you think he's changed the game in a way?
Yeah. I think he definitely took it was like a new phase of YouTube when he came on, and it was like, we wouldn't be sat here talking about doing retention courses if MrBeast was, you know, it wasn't around, and it kind of became, how can we optimize to this, you know, so the platform will push this video in. But it's not, I think people dog on like Beast style editing or like MrBeast style content or whatever, but it is just like, if retention's high, it means people are engaged. It means certain people want to watch it. It's not my, you know, people go, oh, the algorithm, the algorithm's just telling you what people's behavior. It's just telling you what people are watching. So I think it's a bit lazy to be like, oh, beastification of YouTube. It's just like, it's just getting a bit more efficient. Personally, to watch, they're a bit too much for me, of like everything, wow, flash graphics explosion. It's a bit too much. But yes, no, it's a different game to just plonk your camera down, chat shit in the corner of your room now.
Yeah, I know. It's harder. Do you look at the scene now as harder for young people coming up?
Yes.
Because of what they've got to compete with?
100%. Like we were just talking before here, you know, I've got a team of 10 people. Chris's is a little bit bigger or whatever.
Yeah.
If you're a young lad or a lass wanting to get into it, like, there's huge salaries there. The bar's high. So now what we've seen is bigger personalities come through. You need to like have something special about
USP.
you. There's no way I could be like get to where I am now these days with my. So like, I would say what I'm strong at is like figuring out how a video works or like structuring it, whatever. When you don't have the team or whatever to implement that, you've got to just rely on a massive personality. One thing is, though, it's definitely, it was more luck-based back in the day. Like, once you were up, you had this momentum, you'd put a video to get pushed regardless, whereas now, you need to make a good video for a good video to get pushed. But if you do, it's kind of guaranteed. But like, I'm, like, AB, for example, I'm really impressed with, because he came up and it was like short-form stuff, and then he can do long-form, and he can do the stream, and it's like, it's you don't see many people like
pivoting their
popping up, like coming up these days. It's like, you used to be like a few a year you'd get, and now it's like last was AB, before then maybe like George, Batch, Arthur Hill. It's like, and there's big times between them, whereas back in, you know, like 2015, 16, 14, like I feel like there'd be a new person every time would come up from nothing. It's so much harder for people now. But if you get it right, it's almost guaranteed. So there's like a bit of a trade-off. It's like, if you get it right, and the stats are right on the back end, the platform is now much better at finding the audience first. Yeah,
that's interesting. That I know what you're saying. You mentioned some of the names that you've worked with there, which brings me nice onto the YouTube FPL League that I want to talk about. Remind us how you did last season.
I won it, mate. I won it. I
do
you play? Do you play?
Do you know what? This season, I think is the first season I've not done FPL.
Good.
Because
congratulations.
my strategy with FPL, I'm all in at the early part, and then you know what happens? You forget to do a week, forget to do and then it really notices. You need consistency,
and you need jeopardy.
All in.
You need so why we're so hooked on it, because it's really bad if you don't win. But top 5k last year out of
Wow.
So we take that.
So you're pretty good at FPL. Let's have it right.
Terrible, and then James Alcott, man. I'm just basing it all off James Alcott.
Really? Is that your strategy?
No, but it helps you. no, it's not really.
Definitely
because it's like the more you know about football, sometimes the less you know about FPL.
I hear that.
But yes, what keeps us so engaged is it's so bad if you lose. It's like this just terrible.
Yeah, so firstly, remind us, for those that don't know, who's in your FPL YouTube group.
So we've got Theo Baker, Chris MD, we've got JJ, Harry, Randolph, Freezy. We used to have Callux. We kicked Callux out because he didn't do a forfeit.
Wow.
So that's, for the integrity of the league, you lost.
Yeah.
He had 12 TikTok dances to do. He did 2.
Oh, so
and he's got a join next year? No, absolutely not.
Generally speaking, you've kicked him out for only doing 2 of the 12 dances.
Well, do you disagree?
No,
what do we stand for if we let him back in? Because then the next person goes, well, I've lost, but I'm not doing my horrendous forfeit because he got away with it. No, he can't.
Sets a precedent.
I'd love him in if he did 11 TikTok dances. I want him
dances,
there.
Though, isn't it?
But it's just principle, mate.
Yeah, okay.
It's what you stand for. Yeah, no.
So you're the best. Who's the worst?
KSI's the worst. KSI is absolutely the worst. Yeah, he's an idiot. Well, he's... It's the best. I personally feel no. It's bang on. The best way to play, you'll do better at FPL the less you play FPL, right? The less you do, the things you just go, oh my god, I've got this player and he's playing Burnley. I need him in. I'll take a hit or whatever. The best way is just to set up decently, think it out, and just leave it, right? Because there's so much variance. It's really just luck. Yeah. So if you just set yourself up and just don't react, JJ's so impulsive. So it's like we are 3 weeks into the stage into this
right now season.
He's used 2 chips. So you get basically a little boost. You get like 8 little boosts throughout the year. JJ's used 2 of his already in like 3 weeks. Yeah. So and this is his year where he's like, I'm being chill. I'm not taking any hits or whatever. Sometimes he'll rock up and he's taken. So basically, if you don't know how it works, if like for an extra transfer, it'll cost you -4 points, and it's set up that way because it's not worth it. He's been playing for 2 years. He's only just discovered that. Sometimes last year you'd be like, he's taken -16 points for no reason. So he's comfortably the worst, I would say.
Comfortably the worst?
He's just stupid. Okay. I would say the best. I would say Chris is good. Randall's pretty good. Do you remember JMX?
Yeah.
Very analytical thinking. He's always top or second. Yeah. He's very good. We're not sure if it is him playing.
I was just about to ask, are there any cheats? Anyone that, people get these FPL experts that...
I cheated once.
Did you?
So
people know that?
Yes. So and there's been rules. So we now, in the group description, we have almost like a contract description of like what you can do, what you can't do, what you can do. And at the start of the season, if you want to get in, you send a picture of yourself and you've signed the picture. Because 2 or 3 years ago, this is really bad. It was close to the bottom 2. It was between me, Ethan, and someone else. And there's a YouTuber called FPL Focal. He was number 1 at the world at the time, and I was just in his DMs being like, right, mate, so here's the setup, right? I've got my bench boots left. I've got my free hit. I need to beat Bazinga. I don't need to beat anyone else. I just need to beat Ethan. Here's Ethan seeing me going, right, you could do this. You could do this. You do this. But in the rules at the time, that was fine. That was just,
You technically weren't cheating at the time.
I wasn't cheating.
No.
I was definitely bad faith, but I wasn't cheating. So now the rules are like as strict as possible.
Because of WillNE.
Yes. And we were like, even if we're out for a meal or whatever, if someone whips their phone out and like, oh, here's my team, that's like not allowed. It's like you can't be asking each other for different advice. Or
it's very, very competitive.
Oh yeah, because it's bad if you lose.
Yeah,
it's bad.
Tell us about the forfeits, because they are iconic. These forfeits.
Yeah, so
give us a
typical bloody YouTubers.
Some of the
typical bloody YouTubers, wasting money or whatever. The bottom 3 takes everyone else on holiday.
Yeah.
And
when you say holiday, like what sort of holiday are you talking about? Skegness for a day, or you go Maldives all inclusive?
So it can't be too nice because I don't think people's lasses would sign it off.
Right.
So it's like you kind of frame it as like it's not a nice as nice. So it's not like
but it's
Maldives.
Still a holiday.
It's slightly lesser than but then it's not it's not. Anyway, not dingy. So it's a certain amount goes towards taking all the boys away for 3 or 4 days. Meals are paid for, everything they're paid for.
The whole trip paid for.
It to a certain extent. Yeah. So it sets the budget on the on the thing, and then we spend the amount and we don't go
on the contract.
Yeah,
wow.
So it's good fun. So bottom's worse, and then the second and third bottom are a little bit less.
Yeah.
I think it's fine to say what they are. This is the last year we couldn't say what they are because it kind of ruined one of the forfeits. But this year it is. But you get a tattoo of a player name. It's like sometimes when you bet heavy on
a permanent tattoo.
Well, that's tattoos, aren't they?
Yeah, I know, but that's a big forfeit, isn't it?
I mean, some of the boys have got terrible, myself included, terrible tattoos. It would already be my best one. But you get a tattoo of like your worst performing player. Another one.
So that could be a Sunderland player for you.
Yeah,
for instance,
it could be.
As a Newcastle player.
I wanted to get like when you see the name on their shirt, but the boys are saying it just has to be the name. But I think it's you get the shirt on.
Some heavy forfeits.
Arthur, bless him, last year had to spend 24 hours in McDonald's. Every Big Mac he ate was an hour off. But you were like, no phone, no entertainment, you can't bring anyone with you, no books, nothing, just sitting around at McDonald's. And he eats really slow, so he was in there for yonks.
Perfect forfeit for him.
Terrible.
Wow. What's the worst forfeit you've done?
I have not lost.
You've never had to do a forfeit?
No, touch wood.
I've jinxed you there.
Like I was going to say I'm actually
I've absolutely jinxed you. Who's the best? Who's got the best football knowledge, would you say, in the group? Like, as in just footy knowledge?
Like the most respectable opinion. They're not great. A lot of them aren't great. I think Freezy's probably the worst.
Wow.
Freezy's football opinions are.
You want to move on, didn't you?
I'll take the best. Yeah, or Chris is level-headed.
Yeah. Chris has got decent.
Yeah.
No,
Chris is no. Yeah.
This
is a lot of Arsenal bias there. There's a lot of head loss there. Freezy's the worst.
I learned a lot from that. Anything I wouldn't know from the FPL League? Any bits of gem? Is it in the WhatsApp group?
It's all just.
Who's the worst loser in the WhatsApp group, would you say?
Or who loses the head the most? Well, Ethan threatens to quit like every 4 weeks. Yeah, because it's like you get to February and he's down there. He takes it the worst. But it is, when you're really into it, mate, it is a weekend ruiner, isn't it? And it's just and it's also, you're in this group and everybody's, it's like, they might not have this player. Say your fella gets sent off, right? They don't have him or they don't care, but everyone's going mental because your players got sent off. Like, if it sends your head west, and it's like, especially if you captain someone on a Friday, and they're shit, and they flop, and you're like, oh, well, that's me whole weekend. I know it's a bad
team
FPL
loses
weekend.
and you have a stink on FPL, it's a game changer.
Yeah, I used to have a nice way of balancing that when Newcastle were bad, because it would just be like, well, I'll just put in whoever's playing Newcastle. Hedge my emotions. I'm like, that we've won, or we got battered, but I've got loads of points.
Oh man, I love that. I learned a lot from that. Let's move on to your coffee brand, Rods.
Yes,
massive story this year. Tell us about it. Where did it come from, launching a coffee brand?
Yeah, so it's James. We collab a lot, and it's just our one thing that we like. Well, it's just a real shared passion that we love, and it's just we were looking around at you saying you've never drank coffee before.
Do you know what? I don't drink coffee. I've tried coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker. Yeah. So I'd be very bad to endorse your product. But I'm sure it's lovely.
I know.
I love Marmite.
No. So it's the options in the store. You go into like I love this, right? This is terrible brand for me not bringing the product.
Yeah.
You go into shops and they're all rubbish. The ones in cans or whatever are rubbish.
Yeah.
So we just set out, being like, right, is there a way we can figure out to make something like this?
Yeah.
In a bottle and sell it loads. We spent 2 years trying to figure out, and we got to a place where like, oh my god, we love this.
When you say figure it out, what do you mean? Like working out what the brand is, the marketing?
Well, it's just like starting from zero. It's like, how do we get a bottle into Sainsbury's? Like, I don't know how to. Like, it was like, I know how to slap a brand on a bag of coffee beans. That's fine. Right. I don't know how to, pitch to big supermarkets or get into where to start. And then it was fine. And then we finally found the right factory for it and got out to it's made in Spain, of like just testing and like, wow, that's amazing.
Are you involved in all of that, testing the product?
Yeah.
Saying I don't like that, change this. So this is 2 years in the making.
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
So we knew we wanted coffee. We were like, we're going to make beans and French press. It's like, it's just the barrier to entry there. Yeah. I love coffee. Yeah. I'm not there sat faffing around grinding up beans, making a French press in my spare time, right? So especially if I'm younger, right? The audience, it's not going to happen. So we're like, right, we need to make it really easily accessible, as good as we can. And then, we found the factory and whatever, but taking as we go.
Wow. And just remind us all, for those that don't know, where you're at now, because you are in Sainsbury's,
Yes, we're in Sainsbury's. We've just taken on more Sainsbury's this week. So it's actually today we launch in the meal deal. So which is like amazing, like a real dream would be like a drink we've made is in the meal. I have a meal deal every day. Most
twice
days.
a day now.
Twice a day, come on. So yeah, that's been amazing just to like take that outside of the YouTube thing and hopefully add a bit of longevity either side and keep and work on that passion for.
How much do you spend working on YouTube versus coffee now? And do you see this as are you sort of not shifting lanes, but like going down the entrepreneurial route?
It just feels like a responsible thing to do. It was something that I'm like, I really wanted to do, and the options are naff. And it's like we've made a product that we feel is completely different. But it's also the point where you're like, look, if you could put a contract in front of us and be like, sign this and you'll do this every day until you're 65, you're 70, I'd sign immediately.
The coffee you're talking about?
Making content.
YouTube, sorry.
And it's just like, but that might not happen. Right. It could be gone next month. It could be gone tomorrow. So it's just like, how can I just set myself up and make sure I'm making the most of this opportunity to work on something alongside and own something.
Clever strategy.
It's just like you can't take what we have for granted, and I don't think you can rest on your laurels. So it's just like a nice thing, something I love doing.
What we're looking at from the outside, obviously we've established you are so methodical, knowledgeable in the job that you do, content, YouTube. Like you are on a different level to 99% of people. You know that. With regards to coffee, you just like coffee, right? No disrespect, but you've never worked in a coffee shop or what. Yeah. So what was the biggest challenge in going into something? Without sounding harsh, but I imagine 100%. You knew nothing about.
100%, yeah. Look, we're doing it and we're figuring out on the fly, and it's also like I'm making something that I think is good. It's you can make the absolute perfect product, absolute perfect, and people aren't going to like some of it too, and it's dealing with that. What I'm not used to is red tape, so I'm used to like if I want to do something, just being like, oh cool, I can commit the afternoon, commit the spend, go and do it. Whereas now. It's like, does everyone in the business think it's a good idea? I think it's a good flavour. Will Sainsbury's think it's a good flavour? Margins or whatever as well. So we're currently looking at changing one of our flavours, and it's just like, okay, we can get this flavour amazing, but like suddenly, is it the healthiest choice or is it whatever?
Yeah.
And then it's also managed a team. So we've hired two amazing young creatives who are coming in, one on the brand side of things, one producing short form content, short form stuff.
Right.
I know.
Yeah.
But I've hired a brand manager.
Yeah.
That I'm technically, in the structure, they're reporting to me, but they know way more than me about brand and what would make, fostering the community or whatever, managing the community. So it's kind of like the most humbling thing is, we're running this business that I've got. Let's be honest, due to the nature of the job, I'm not only in this position because we make content.
Platform, yeah.
And, you're bringing in people who know more than you, so you've got to respect their opinion, and you kind of like, they teach you on the job, but it's the same, like my producer, Abby, she came in from TV 3 or 4 years ago. She's structured my business in terms of like job titles, and this is how people progress, or, this is how you, whatever. So I think the humbling thing, or the main thing is you go, yes, I don't know much about it, but you bring people in, and instead of going, I'm the boss, you make sure you learn from them, and you almost report to them.
Yeah, that's fascinating. How big is the team at Rods?
Rods is now probably all involved. So we've got we set it up with a few different people, like friends that I knew from YouTube, who maybe on the agency side, or people I know within FMCG, that know more. So. Yeah, there's 2 or 3 employees, but there's a few other partners there that help us.
What's the goal with it? How big do you think it can become?
It's just, the goal is just get it out. It's the name of the game's distribution, so it's get it to as many different, get it into as many people's hands as we possibly can. And I think with YouTube products, when you're gonna have a big start, you're only gonna maintain that level if you make something good. No one's gonna keep buying WillNE and James Marriott coffee if they don't like the coffee, but they like WillNE and James Marriott, right? It's like you need them to. I need someone to go in a shop and be like, "Wow, that was lovely coffee." I'm got a clue who that fella is.
Do you want to? Is a part of the strategy making it appeal to people that don't even know who you
100%,
are? 100%, all ages.
Our name's nowhere near on it. It's like you could slap a bit of our branding on it. I think. You're not building the brand there. You're kind of just extending and leveraging. I don't think that's a long-term thing. It's that we want nothing on this at all. But obviously it's we're relying on our audience and on the relationship we built with people for them to try it. We need them to try and go, oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I'll keep going. I'll, bring that into my daily routine.
It's fascinating where it's going, the YouTube landscape. Or what are your thoughts generally on the sort of entrepreneurial side of YouTube? You look at Prime, for instance. You look at, I mean, there's so many brands now that YouTubers are getting involved in. What is your thought on that sort of landscape?
Yeah, I think it was inevitable because I think it is kind of like you do need that. Because people have been doing it, running their business from, if you want to get to a certain size or you want to get bigger, you need people, you need help. So then you need to be running the team, you need to be running the business, you need to be not spending way too much money and running your channel into the ground and making no money. So I think everybody, to a certain degree, who's running a YouTube channel does kind of have, the skill set to be
you
doing
mentioned money there. Did you put a lot of that in? Did you have to put a lot of finances into rods?
Yes. Yeah. There was to get it in. Because even just buying that first batch of, but you're buying hundreds of thousands of bottles and it's costing. So there's definitely a big cash outlay. And I also went to, we didn't have the cash at the time, so I went to, like, a lot of the YouTube mates own part of rods. So like Freezy owns part of rods, Fosh owns part of rods, Lux owns part of rods. Because I just went to them when we were starting and be like, look, we don't have all the capital we need. Do you fancy getting involved?
Right.
But then, as do we with, like, I've invested in Fellas, I've invested in No Two Ways. It's very much a it's
like an equity base. So you need a bit of money. They come in, and the great thing is that the greatest thing about that is they want it to build. So you've obviously got their platform as well. You can lean on effectively.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I think I'm fascinated to see the journey, mate. And I think we've covered a lot. The only last thing I wanted to sort of touch upon with you is your condition, because it's something I've seen you speak about it a little bit, but not. Remind us what condition you have.
So I've quite
a unique
effectively,
one, right?
I faint gory stuff. So it's the technical term is, I don't know if we got it fully, like, whatever. Reflex anoxic seizures. It's called. Really fun.
And what does that involve?
So it's basically like a reaction to, like, stress or like stressful environments that I think my heart cuts out blood flow to my brain under certain points, and you kind of like, you pass out and you have a seizure.
Is that blood as well, if you see blood?
Well, I don't know if that was kind of something that was trained into us. So the first time it happened, have you seen Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets?
Yes.
So I'm sat in the Odeon, right, in Silverlink, North Tyneside, and it's the basilisk, and he puts the sword through, and gory part, and as a 8-year-old kid or whatever.
Part of Harry Potter.
I know. Pretty wrong. I was 8, Smithy.
Yeah, okay. Fair
so
enough.
I passed out and had a seizure, and my parents are like, he's epileptic or whatever. And then we realised it was like a reaction to gory stuff. So like Florence Nightingale, learning about her in first school, that was sent us away.
Really? You actually have a seizure?
Yeah. Wow. I think I've had like 10, 15 in my life.
Wow. So how does that affect your day-to-day then?
It doesn't much anymore. It used to, like... So I didn't have one for like 10 years, and then I watched Pulp Fiction, and she was like, I can get through that. Yeah. And that was a bit gory for me, and I had my first seizure in like 10 years, and then had a few, and then once I had one, I got in my head about having them. So I was like worried about like, if I'm stuck somewhere, I can't get out, maybe I'll have one. But then it was one of them ones I just did therapy of like learning the thought process and getting away from it, and it's fine now. It doesn't really affect us much at all.
What actually happens during a seizure then?
Good question. I'm not too sure because I'm not really present. No, but it's just like it must just be like legs, limbs flailing. I don't really know. You're just out, and then you just come back out and you're really dizzy, and you're like, oh shit, but it's not.
And how did therapy help? That helped you? Is it like retraining your brain in that sense?
Yeah. So it got me to the point where I got quite OCD about being stuck in places. So I would be in a taxi and I'd be like, oh God, I can't remove myself from this environment. So if I have one, I'm just going to have one. I was like terrified. Like if I get on a plane, I'm just going to have one on a plane because I can't, if someone's nose bleeds on a plane.
Worry about the what if, so to speak.
Yeah. So I was just constantly going whatever. So I did something called CBT, and it was just kind of like, what was really helpful for me was like, he just was like, here's a flow chart of your thoughts. You're going to think this, you're going to think this, and then you're going to think this. And when someone says that, it makes for me, I was like, well, they obviously mean nothing. I feel like loads of people are having them, and it's just like there. And if you just stop, if you just don't give an intrusive thought, wait, for me, obviously, I think that worked for me. It's not working for everyone, but it was so handy, and I would definitely recommend it. That just it was. So it wasn't really the seizures that were having an impact on my life. It was the anxiety or the stress that they were going to happen. So that's what I attacked. But that's what I went after instead of the actual.
That's fascinating you said that, because I've had different aspects of anxiety, mainly through my diabetes and mental health struggles, but a lot of the anxiety I have is the what if. So it's amazing chatting to people like that. You've got a completely different condition that I have, but the anxiety that it prevents is
exactly the same.
What you described is exactly what I get.
And how did you go about sorting it?
I had therapy. I do box breathing a lot when I'm really anxious. It's like I see a mental health sort of coach at the minute who's been amazing. And it's all about doing the little things, turning your phone off at certain times, but box breathing, hot, cold. It's all little things to basically slow yourself down and not let the overthinking get too much. But I think it's great advice just saying, speak to someone that that is right for you, because it's amazing. And it's like you said something so interesting there. It's not rocket science what they're saying a lot of the time, but it needs to be said, and it needs to be said by someone that you trust. And that's what I found.
And sometimes you think like these thoughts, you think you have like ownership over these thoughts, and you think because I'm thinking them or I'm feeling them, they're true, or they mean something. And you go, it's sometimes just patterns of thought, or it's sometimes just like, it's sometimes it's just they don't. The thought itself doesn't mean much. It's just the way your brain works.
I'll give you an example. When I do the box breathing, I do like 7 minutes before bed, and it's like 4 seconds in, 4 seconds hold, 4 seconons out. And they say, look at anyone in a stressful situation, they'll always do like box breathing. They say, look, the next time you watch a penalty, you look at Ronaldo before he takes a pen. He always do deep breaths. It's just to calm himself down and be
physical thing, right?
It's amazing. So it's not until you get told that. But yeah, it's just a small example. Has it ever prevented you doing anything? Because what I'm fascinated by what you said is the places you've been to in your career and like all over the world, the videos you've done. Has it ever prevented you doing something or a video idea because you think, I can't do this because of my condition?
Yeah, like there's definitely events I bailed on last minute because I was anxious about being live streamed, and I just kind of made an excuse last minute to not go because I was like, oh, but if I have one there, it's terrible. But then the thing with anxiety, I don't know how you feel about it, is I think if you're worried, you can't go around it, you can't go over it, you've got to go through it. The way to agree. And you've got to go
head on.
And there's probably things you're not anxious about now that a couple of years ago or whatever, you're like, you see them as these massive things. It's like I could not. I was like physically shaking trying to get on a plane a couple of years ago, and now we'll hop on long haul here, there, and everywhere. And it's just like sometimes you feel, but don't you feel like I can't believe I was that worked up? But you only get to that place if you just go through it. If you just got to go.
Yeah,
I think the mentality for me now is if something scares us, it's probably a sign you should do it.
Yeah, I think that's a brilliant way to look at it. Finally, let's get your thoughts on Newcastle this season. Let's talk about your beloved Geordie.
No, there's some anxiety. Yeah. So, bit of context.
I love Eddie Howe, by the way. Love Eddie Howe. Met him many times. He's brilliant.
Have you?
Oh, it's just brilliant. Yeah.
Just our greatest ever manager. He's the most important person at the club. I just love the work. Oh, 100%. You could get rid of all of them. Please not Bruno, though. So a bit of context. Wissers, looks agreed here.
Yeah.
Isaac's off. It's a shame because it's just like everything feels so lovely. Like I watched that Liverpool game and we're lost and we bigged it up and it was embarrassing. But you go, I just love this club. I love everything it stands for. I'm really proud of them. I'm proud of them, like I know them. But it's just, it's annoying because these first 3 games I think we could have done really well in if we'd had a striker. And it's just, I think this is a really important season for us. Of if we don't get Champions League this year, you look at, is the same going to happen for Tonali? Is the Isak situation? Is someone going to try?
Do you think the Isak could be a stepping stone for other players? Is that what you're worried about?
I think it's a level we now need to maintain, because I think because of the new ownership came in, and I think they might have sold to players of like, right, this is where we're going. We're going to be number one, and it's been slowed down for one reason or another. And players have got short careers, so they're going to go. There's the wages I could earn. There's positions I could be in. We need to perform on the pitch to be able to give those. So it's like, I think we need a Champions League again, or, at least something. We need to build on that momentum. And there's been a big shake-up this summer.
Yeah.
But it's Eddie Howe.
Where do you think you'll finish?
If you were to offer us 6th or 7th, I'd be.
Would you say that?
Yeah, because you look at. Wow. I think you look at the clubs around us. I mean, I know Chelsea were ahead of us at the end of last year, but for a lot of them, we had them last year. Spurs, I don't think you lot can be as bad this year.
European champions, mate.
But in the league, though, right?
I think we'll do all right this year.
I'd say the same as United, but they continue to impress.
They're tough to
I think
out.
Everyone around us is buying well. I think the league is stronger at the end of the summer.
Who do you think wins the league?
I did go into it thinking City, but I think it's hard to look past Liverpool with adding now. It's just the only thing you could say is there may be a little thin. It depends on how today ends. If they get Gay and Isak,
we are filming this on deadline day, by the way. It's about midday now, so
I think we'll see.
You go Liverpool,
yeah. What about you? Mate, what do you think?
I think Liverpool win. Yeah, I've done my prediction. I think Liverpool win. I thought Arsenal have strengthened very well, but adding Isak, I just think is a game changer for Liverpool. I think top 6 is accurate for you. I think Spurs and Newcastle are at a similar level in that, you know, 5th, 6th and a trophy for both would be classified as a good season. But I think Liverpool look
at us sat here talking about trophies. We get those now. We got those trophies. It's not
the year of the underdog, wasn't it? Well, I've got to say, mate, this has genuinely been one of the most powerful episodes I think I've ever done. Like,
thank you.
Chatting to you, hearing about your personal story, what you've put into your channel. I mean, we all know how talented you are, and from one thing I will emphasize is from chatting to 3 people that you know very well, like the way that you are described in the industry by everyone, not just from the work rate, but how nice of a bloke you are as well. And you've come here for absolutely nothing in it for you, coming on Little Old Me's channel. But I know we go back a little while, so I really appreciate that. Just finally, I ask all my guests this: what advice you'd have as a young entrepreneur, as an influencer? What advice you'd have for people that want to follow in your footsteps, mate?
I would just say dedicate every second of it. If you're just starting, you need to be obsessed. It needs to be everything you think about. After a little while, stop being so obsessed. It's detrimental. But if you want to make the difference between like I'm not doing what I want and suddenly YouTube my job, it's the only answer is obsession, and then you'll be fine.
I love it, mate. You are a top bloke.
Thank you, mate.
Episode.
Appreciate you having me on. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate it. Top man.